Joining us now is former U.S. Ambassador to Russia in the Obama administration, Michael McFaul. Ambassador, first, what do you make of the Kremlin's response to Trump's comments, and what could they mean in the larger landscape of suing for peace talks?
Well, the president has lashed out before on social media and public against Putin. That's something new. He didn't do that before in his first term. I think he's wrong analytically. I don't think Putin's changed. I think Trump is finally just seeing the real Putin. But I have to say, tough words on social media is not the same as actions. And time again, the president sounds really tough, and he's going to do all kinds of tough things on social media, and he doesn't follow through. And so the Russians and Vladimir Putin are not threatened by his words. He needs to be credible and actually do the things he promises to do. Otherwise, the president looks extremely weak.
I think you bring up a good point there, that talk is different than actions. And we should also point out that as much as the president was criticizing Putin in that post, he also included a little jab for Ukraine's Zelensky as well. But look, the thinking here has been that Russia's been buying itself time, keeping ceasefire talks alive while still behaving aggressively. But does this kind of language from Putin signal that maybe they're ready for the U.S. to walk away?
I think Putin at this point could care less about the United States. He has never signaled once that he's serious about negotiations. He has doubled down and just emphasized the same war objectives that he outlined in 2022. And if anything, he's escalated those aims because of all the concessions that the Trump administration has given him. He's escalated. For instance, he's added to the list of things he wants now recognition from the United States and Ukraine of his annexation of Crimea. So I wish it were different. I wish the president and his team would try to put pressure on Putin, signaling, for instance, that they will actually impose sanctions rather than just talking about it, signaling that they will escalate by giving the Ukrainians more weapons. That would get Vladimir Putin's attention. But just talking tough and doing nothing does not get his attention.
Something that may have caught the Kremlin's attention is some social media postings from the German chancellor about providing different kinds of missiles to Ukraine. So that's clearly something that could be new in the mix, even as we look at President Trump saying that Putin has, quote, gone absolutely crazy. I mean, that in and of itself is a remarkable statement, considering the president often cites his relationship with Putin as a way that they could potentially work together. No working together has actually happened here, though. So is this just another example of how he's miscalculating his influence and how Europe is kind of picking up the slack?
Well, first on President Trump, I applaud the fact that he tried to negotiate and he wants to end this horrific, barbaric war, that he even established diplomatic ties and open channels of communications with the Russians. That was good, too. But his strategy of appeasement to Putin and pressure to Ukraine has not worked. And if your strategy's not working, you got to go to plan B. And yes, I think he could learn from the Europeans. I think increasing military assistance to Ukraine is a way to signal to Putin that time is not on his side. Now, I'd like to see the Europeans do more, too. For instance, they're sitting on $300 billion of Russian central bank assets. They've been talking for years about seizing those assets and giving them to Ukraine. They should do that now. That would show that they also are extending and expanding sanctions. But to the point that President Trump has been just giving concessions and not anything coercive, not any pressure on Russia, I think that strategy has to change.
But then there's also the possibility, if we talk about that posture changing and Trump actually starting to match his words with actions, there is a bipartisan-backed package sitting on Capitol Hill that would do massive sanctions on folks who would do business on oil and gas, other energy products with Russia. Talk about what the impact would be inside the Kremlin if that package were to go into effect.
Well, it's a great package, and it has bipartisan support. You're absolutely right. All it needs is for President Trump to signal that he'll support it. And to the point about the Kremlin, of course, they'll say, why are you doing this? This is incompatible with what you said before. But it's the way you get the attention of the Kremlin. You have to put more sanctions on the Kremlin.
Ambassador Michael McFaul, we always appreciate your expertise. Thanks for coming on the program.